It's time to break down some football.
We got to get our mind right. Touchdown, win.
From the perspective of guys who played in the NFL.
Caught, touchdown!
And a guy who had one really great sack in high school.
Oh, you're so weak. You're a waste of my time.
Greg Camarillo and Marcus McNeil are the pros, and Scraby is the Joe.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Two Pros and a Joe starts right now.
Episode number 37. We got a good one for you. We got a former NFL player here with us on the podcast. We're going to get to that in 1 second. But first, obviously, we need to introduce our Two Pros and a Joe cast. We got Greg Camarillo, wide receiver, played in the NFL for 8 seasons. He was with the Chargers, the Dolphins, Saints, and Vikings. And Marcus McNeil, he blocked for Phillip Rivers, the blind side, for 6 years with the Chargers, the left tackle. I am Scraby. I had one really great sack in high school, and it was amazing, and I'll never forget it. So we actually have, like I said, we have a big surprise for you here in just a second, but we also have a surprise for you on the internet, because Two Pros and a Joe is now a website, twoprosandajoe.com, the number 2 prosandajoe.com. And so I put that up. You can go there for all of your podcasting needs, and you can catch up with us. So the guys are, we're officially official guys on our podcast now that we have a website.
Love it, Scraby. I love it.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. You guys sound real into that.
Hey, man, appreciate the work, Scraby.
I feel official.
Appreciate the work.
Yeah. All right. Without further ado, whatever I'm saying is boring. So I'm going to hand it over to Greg Camarillo, because he's got a former teammate. Marcus has played with this guy too. So go ahead and take it away, Greg.
Yeah, our guest, we're at 3 pros and 1 Joe now. And our guest actually had 1 sack in high school as well. Probably a couple hundred more on top of that. And 81 of them in the NFL. Shaun Phillips, a teammate of mine from San Diego, a teammate of Marcus's from San Diego, spent 11 years in the NFL chasing down quarterbacks with the Chargers, the Broncos, the Titans, and the Colts. Very excited to have him on today, especially because of the news of pass rushers moving at the trade deadline. So SP, a Pro Bowler in 2010, one of the best beasts I've seen getting after the quarterback, and unofficially one of the best linebackers to go to the club with. Shaun Phillips, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate the time. I'm excited to be on, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't usually have a defensive perspective. Marcus and I like to talk offense, so we're honored to have you on today, especially with the breaking news of Von Miller being traded to the Rams. The Rams at this point are all in trying to make it happen this year. But you played with Von Miller. So tell us about your experience with Von and what you think he brings to the Rams.
I did play with Von, and the kid just has a gift that not too many people have. He has the size, the strength, the elite flexibility to bend the corner. Watching him from day one, it was just unbelievable. Even at practice, he actually could get a sack anytime he wanted in practice. And so, it's kind of funny because he just walks out there like he's not ready to go. And then as soon as the ball snaps, he's going. So I personally love the pickup for the Rams. I enjoy watching the Rams. I like Sean McVay as well. He's a hell of a coach. But just pairing Vaughn with Aaron and Jalen Ramsey and the rest of those guys over there, I think they're going to be a problem.
I think that's worth it. So they gave up a 2nd-round pick and a 3rd-round pick. He's on the last year of his contract. So they're basically, it's like an NBA move, a baseball move, just borrowing him for the rest of the year. You think he's the difference maker?
That's fire right there.
I think he is a difference maker. And I mean, realistically, who are you going to get in the 2nd or 3rd round that's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? Like, it's a possibility, but you got a surefire Hall of Famer right now, and he obviously got some good got some good miles left on the tires. What do you got, 4 or 5 sacks or something on the year?
Yeah, 4.5.
Now you pair him with Aaron Donald and Lloyd and those guys. I mean, I just think it was a great move. I think it was a great pickup. I think it's a big move for them.
Who benefit the most, though? Who benefit the most? You think it's going to be Jalen Ramsey or Aaron Donald? You know what I'm saying? Because
That's a great question. I think Aaron's going to benefit the most, and the reason I say that is because none of our really throw the ball Jaden's way anyway. But now, Aaron's going to always continue to get double teams. But now you're going to have to slide that protection a little bit more. You're going to have to chip, and then they're going to scheme him up to create one-on-one, show some linebackers in the A gaps. So I just think I think Aaron's going to benefit the most, and he don't really need it, but he'll benefit.
He did tweet out that he was pretty excited that Von Miller was coming to town. I can't remember exactly what he tweeted, but it was along the lines of like, here we go. Now it's time for us to turn it on. And even though the Rams have only lost one game, I mean, I can't imagine how good they're going to be now on defense. It's incredible. It's incredible.
What's crazy though, football, everybody got to stay healthy as well too. That injury bug just be grabbing people out the blue. So God willing, that those guys stay healthy. I think they're going to be a problem. I think teams gonna have to watch out.
SP, I kind of equate this, and tell me if I'm wrong, but your career took off, and this is no knock on you. This is just the scheme of football. When Sean Merriman came into the league and you two were the dynamic duo, pass rush duo, is this something similar where you can no longer focus on Aaron Donald because of what Von Miller brings and what you experienced when you had Sean and Sean on both edges?
No, I don't think so. I think it might be a little different. I think they might be a little bit more dynamic than us too. But at the end of the day, when you're the best pass rusher on the team, you're going to get the attention regardless. You know what I mean? So I used to hate when people used to say, oh, you could get off because they're double teaming over there. Like, no, a team's going to double team who's causing the most havoc, right? And so when you're the superstar, you're going to get double teamed. That's the way it works out. You just got to find ways to make it happen. But offensive players are competitive too. They're going to say, I don't need no double team. Like, what do I need a double team for?
I need you to sign me up for a double team.
I'm going to tell you something too. I'm going to tell you too. Von actually going to benefit from this as well, especially with Aaron Donald pushing the middle. Because if you know anything, trying to bend that corner, the quarterback is always trying to step up. You know what I'm saying? And when you can't step up because, of course, Aaron Donald's already in your face, you know what I'm saying? Like, Von Miller's going to become, I think, more of a problem. And he was already a problem. I heard he could dance his ass off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Marcus. I mean, because Aaron does get penetration all the time. I mean, and it's not always the guy that wins that benefits from the sack, right? Like, I beat a lot of people where someone else got the sack, right? Because just the quarterback sees you. So as you said, they step up, they escape left, they escape right. So other people, the other D linemen may benefit from having them too as well.
I think we just found out how Scraby got a sack in high school.
Someone else got to the quarterback first.
Off the edge, and you just happened to be there.
That's exactly what it was. It was actually a missed blocking assignment. I literally just ran straight towards the quarterback.
Look, man,
those are the best. They count.
Hey, you bring up a good question though, Big Mac. So you're in that situation. You're the left tackle, and say you now have Von Miller coming off the edge. Do you tell coach, I got this, or do you accept help?
Bro, this is me you talk about though. I got this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting your ass on Big Mac Island anyway. I'm trying to scoot out a little bit. So y'all I don't like people tripping up on the back of my legs and shit.
For real, you don't want help. If you have Von Miller one-on-one, you don't want help. Just let me handle it.
Bro, to be honest, sometimes the help can mess you up just as much.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? Especially like if they try and send a running back your way. And they come with the chip with a guy like Von who's so fluid. Like you chip him, he's spinning on the inside. And I didn't even know you know what I'm saying? I'm expecting to bait you outside and now you just, like that's bad. That's just bad business for me. You know what I'm saying? Really? So if I can, you know what I'm saying, I'd rather just block my man, you know what I'm saying? And if I can, like, get help from Dillman or some of my guard later on, you know what I'm saying? If I need some, I'll be like, hey, just watch my inside or something like that. But for the most part, I don't want the chip help. You know what I'm saying? Because you can knock me off the back. But everybody ain't me. Yeah. I play basketball too. Everybody don't play basketball. You know?
No, I mean, as a receiver, I think the opposite. If you got, let's just say Revis was locked up man on man, send me in motion, stack me behind somebody else. I want all the help I can get.
You know, when I played scout wide receiver for the high school team, you know, I this is not what I do. I don't tell my high school stories, I promise, but they're just coming up today. One of the hardest things I found to do on the scout offense was be a receiver and try to get off the line when someone's like, you know, pressing you. I know it's high school. I know it's not the NFL, but if it was difficult for me in high school, it has to be impossible in the NFL.
Can I tell you a secret? Scrapes? It gets easier as you get older because the rules change. In college, they just lock onto you and roll with you as far as they can go. In the pros, they got to let go of you. So it actually is easier to get off a press in the pros than it is in college.
Oh, I see. But another question, going back to Von Miller, though, I read today that he has incredible Halloween parties, and they're usually like over $100,000 in cost. Did you ever go to a Von Miller Halloween party?
I think I did one year. I did one year. I vaguely remember it, but I did go one year.
Okay.
He does go to parties.
Those are the best parties that you vaguely remember.
Yeah, exactly.
You remember all the details. It wasn't that good of a party.
All right, I got my fanboy questions out of the way. You guys take it over.
All right, let's go to another trade. So we're going to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs picking up Melvin Ingram. But first of all, SP, what are you seeing from the Chiefs? Because I thought they were going to the Super Bowl. And they certainly don't look like that now. What are their problems?
It looks like they need to get back to the fundamentals, right? Like they're walking in on their high horse with their whole, you know, we are the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They you can't do that no more, right? Like people start figuring them out. They know, you know, the quarterback's a stud. They know the tight end's a stud. They know the wide receivers are fast, right? So now people are game planning them. They can't take anybody by surprise. And so I think they'll still be okay. They just need to get back to the drawing board, get back to the fundamentals and focus on the things that got them, you know, the success that they had. And so I think that's kind of what's going on over there.
We'll force a prediction. Are they a playoff team or not a playoff team?
It's such a long season. I mean, the last couple games I watched, I know they just beat the Giants. I mean, they just didn't look like a playoff team, but it's just so early that I feel like they will. They have no choice. They got too much talent not to. I mean, they could completely tank now, but I feel like they're going to make the playoffs.
But is Melvin Ingram going to help their defense enough to push them over some sort of line that they need to get to? Because he was traded today to the Chiefs from the Steelers. Mike Tomlin said he'd rather have volunteers and not hostages in his organization, which apparently is talking about how Melvin Ingram may have been hard to deal with. I don't know. But he's going to the Chiefs, and their defense has been a concern all season long. But how much will Melvin Ingram help their defense to the point where, I mean, they're a playoff team if he's on the team and they're not if he's not on the defense? You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it makes that much of a difference for those guys. I mean, Melvin Ingram's a stud player. I think what it does is he definitely can get up the quarterback and he's an athlete. But what I think it does is move Jones inside. I think they got, is it Chris Jones, the D tackle?
Yes.
So they got Chris Jones on the edge playing a true left DN. I think he's more of a 3 technique, in my opinion, that has the versatility to get outside and play a 5. But I feel like if you put Melvin Ingram on the edge, you put Chris Jones on the inside, it helps them out both in the run game and in the pass game. So I think it benefits them. But you know, they were going to be the same team with or without Melvin. But Melvin can play ball.
Yeah,
who do you have your eyes on this year? Who do you see as the 2 top teams? The Super Bowl.
It's funny. My teams change kind of every year. Like it just depends who I'm like feeling. And I've been feeling the Rams the last few years. I've been feeling the Chargers since Justin Herbert got there. But I enjoy watching the Rams, and then I think the Cardinals, man, the Cardinals, I feel like they got, but then they just lost JJ.
Thinking all the cities he lives in is what it is.
Yeah, well, you better say at that time.
Trust me, I would have never said that, but I've been watching them.
I was going to question your credibility if you threw Houston in there, being that you. I'm glad you left.
No. I just think that the Cardinals, you know, they got it pretty much at every position, right? They got a solid O-line, they got a solid quarterback, solid receiver, solid D-line, solid secondary. You know what I mean? So they got all the right tools. It just looks funny seeing the Cardinals out there like succeeding. That's the one thing that like throw me off, like, you know.
Yeah, because I didn't think Cliff Kingsbury would. I mean, it doesn't usually work that a college coach will transition to the NFL and be super successful. And Cliff Kingsbury seems to be able to transition to the NFL. Yeah, guys like Urban Meyer who are struggling. Maybe Urban Meyer took over a worse team than Cliff Kingsbury, but I'm pretty surprised about the Cardinals. I'm a 49ers fan, just to let everybody know. And so the Cardinals being good just ruins my dreams because the Rams are also very good. And then you got the Seahawks as well that are going to figure it out some point. But I mean, Cliff Kingsbury seems to have that team under control, and he has that team playing hard right now. And that's half the battle, I think, as a head coach.
I mean, half the battle as a coach is having good talent, and they got a lot of talent there. So
they just lost JJ Watt, though. They just lost JJ Watt, which is going to be a little blow.
Is he not hurt every year? I feel like he's hurt every year.
Yeah, he gets that injury bug a lot too. He gets that unfortunate injury bug. It seems like a lot.
Yeah, I agree, and that is a big game changer for them because he wasn't putting up the numbers that he did in previous years, but he was definitely very disruptive. Had tip balls, slide protection his way, got some hits on the quarterback. So that will be a big blow to them, I think.
You know how you solve all your problems though? You trade for a Stanford guy, and Zach Ertz fixes everything.
He's a Stanford guy?
No, come on! Don't be so surprised, Scraby.
I actually didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. I thought he was like a Temple guy or something.
A Temple guy.
He looks like a Temple guy. I mean, I don't know what.
Is Stanford tight end you?
Tight end you. Proudly claim it.
Is it really tight end you?
Yeah, I'll send you a Twitter pic.
I don't. Okay.
You'll know what we're talking about.
I don't really.
We're all over the NFL right now. Hey, SP, your old team, the Chargers. So that they were on a hot streak, and then New England comes into town. Did you catch that game?
I didn't. I saw the highlights. I didn't. I saw Adrian Phillips definitely made his mark on the game.
Made his team pay. What? I mean, how do you feel about them? Are they ready? Are they ready for the big time?
They're a couple pieces away. I feel like they're not gelling right now. And I've seen some games, and I think the quarterback is obviously big time, and Keenan Allen's big time, and Joey Bosa's big time. I even like that linebacker too from Oklahoma. Kenneth Murray?
Yeah.
Yeah, he can play as well too. So they got a good team. They just need to gel a little bit. You know how it is. You got to spend some time together. It's hard to just turn the light switch on. You need to go through some highs and some lows together. And so I think this 2-game losing streak, seeing how they bounce back will show what type of team that they're made of or what type of team that they're going to be. Because you know how it is, it's highs and lows in the season, but you never really want to try to lose 2 games in a row. Good teams don't usually lose 2 in a row. Yeah. So they need to just take the adversity, use the adversity to, propel them on what type of team that they're going to be.
Yeah.
They don't have an identity yet.
I like that left tackle they got too, Rashawn Slater. Like he was a big piece for me for Justin Herbert. Like they had to have him if he was going to reach the potential that he could at quarterback, because that boy can throw the ball all over the field. You know what I'm saying? Like they got a real franchise quarterback right now, but they had to get an offensive line around him. I think it's a battle for LA right now, and I want to see. I want to see who comes out on top. You know what I'm saying? The Chargers or the Rams. They have great teams. The Chargers being a young, hungry team. And that's the type of team I remember coming in when we all played in San Diego. You know what I'm saying? We were young and hungry and kind of took over the town and rolled with it, But the LA Rams have so many big superstars. It's like, who's going to really, who's really going to rise to the top as the best team in LA? So I think that's a good storyline all year long. So you like the Rams or the Chargers better in LA right now is what I'm getting to.
Yeah, for me, it's tough. Like that's what I wrestle with all the time. Do I like the Rams or the Chargers? That's kind of my thing. Yeah. I'm biased. I'm always root for the Chargers, but I enjoy watching the Rams play. I enjoy their talent. I really enjoy. I think their coach is phenomenal as well too. So I enjoy Rams games. Yeah. So I'm stuck. Don't tell the Chargers.
It's all good. Have you been over to the stadium yet?
I haven't. I'm going to this.
Sexy.
I heard it's very sexy. I'm going to the Alumni Day. I think it's December 12th or something like that. So I'm gonna get out there. I heard it's the best stadium.
You hitting that cocktail night? Because I'll see you there.
I am hitting the cocktail night. I'm not going to play golf, but I'm hitting that cocktail night.
All right. So fun fact about that debate, the remaining strength of schedule, the Rams have the 3rd hardest remaining schedule. The Chargers have the 26th hardest remaining schedule. So the Chargers have a nice little road if they can get back on track.
Yeah.
SP, I want to dive into your memories of football. So we just talked about the news, what's going on now. I want to hear more about your journey. My favorite thing is, what is your personal favorite highlight? What is one moment where you go back over your career and you're like, man, that was a great moment?
The time he beat Marcus or something like that?
No, Marcus, my guy.
That was weak.
My favorite, I don't know, maybe I would one of them, what I would have to say would be an individual performance against the Cardinals. Actually, I think I had like 4 sacks and an interception for a touchdown.
Oh, wow.
So that was my.
That's a good day of receiving right there. That's
So that was a good day for me there. And then
how did that happen? How did you get a pick for a touchdown?
Oh, I was just dropping the coverage and I just read a route. They was running a dig that I kind of noticed that they either ran the seam or the dig. I noticed he run the seam, so the dig had to be coming. So I just kind of undercut it.
See, that's amazing to me that players can read that on the field as the game's happening, because you're making a decision that's either going to burn you or it's going to make you look like a hero, and you're going to intercept the ball and you're going to run it back for a touchdown. Like, how much do you rely on your instinct and your knowledge rather than actual like physical ability? Because I think a lot of the NFL game is a mental game.
It's kind of both, right? Like, it's funny. Antonio Gates taught me this. He said, just play as if you're not an athlete and your athleticism will take over itself. You don't have to
the first part of my whole career. I got that first part down.
Play like you're not an athlete.
Got that. Still waiting for the athleticism to kick in. All right, go ahead, SP.
So that, but it also comes down, you do have to watch a little film now. I mean, teams only going to do what they do. It ain't like they're going to come in and like with some whole new wrinkle. You know, they may have a wrinkle, but they're going to go to their go-tos, right? And it was funny because in the same game, they ran the same route, and I thought I was going to have another interception, but this time he actually ran the seam instead of running the big. And so you get beat because they watch you too. So it's really a chess match all the time. It's always a chess match, but that's why it's good to watch a little bit of film, just because it's only certain things they can do out of formations. And that was kind of one of my strong suits is, you know, understanding what the other team is doing. And that was me personally.
Who threw the pick?
I don't even remember his name. It was like the third string that game. It was, you know, Liner was hurt and somebody else was hurt and somebody else was in. So I don't even remember his name.
What was I going to ask? I had something and then I started looking up who you caught the pick from. But I want to talk about the Chargers just because we're here in San Diego. We have a lot of listeners that are San Diego Charger fans. You last year in San Diego for you was 2012. You came in 2004, and the Chargers left. I think they're like 4 years removed now, maybe.
5.
It's 5 years at this point.
5 years.
2 in
Dang. So yeah, the Chargers moved out of San Diego, and I know that a lot of San Diego Chargers players, some were affected by it, some weren't. What was your thoughts about how everything went down and the Chargers moving up to LA?
I mean, I lived in LA as well during the season, so I wish we would have been moved to LA.
That makes sense.
It's late.
But at the end of the day, you know, what people don't realize is it's not San Diego Chargers' fault why the Chargers left. I mean, they couldn't get a stadium, right? And that was mostly because of some city officials, right? You had all this stuff going on with stealing money, people got arrested, all of these things. That was San Diego City that caused the problem, not Dean, not the Charger organization. That was them. Everyone's like, well, why don't Dean just put up his own money? Like, do you just want to put up a couple $1 billion for a stadium?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so you know, they need to blame it on the city officials. I do hate that that San Diego is such a great city and they have to lose a team, because San Diego is a great place and they actually need a ball club down there. So I'm sad for the fans, but I'm understanding, you know, it's just business. They made a business decision.
Yeah.
Spoken like a true businessman.
That's right. That is right.
You got something. You don't know how much IQ you got on the show right now. You don't know, like, SP might be one of the smartest brothers that I know. You know what I'm saying? He loves to have a good time, but like I learned a lot from you, like just coming in, how to be a professional, you know what I'm saying, how to carry yourself, and then how to think about stuff outside of the game of football, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to see you doing well, you know what I'm saying? I can't wait to see you next time I see you either, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that. I appreciate that. Big Mac put me on that Gucci, man. So that's
Hey, man, you already know, man. Hey, we still on the east side, man. We had a great. I wish we had more Atlanta Falcons game, man. 'Cause I would have loved to take these guys around the ATL 1 or 2 more times. They a good time now. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that, fellas.
All right, it was 2010. It was 2010. I'm trying to get to the bottom of who threw this damn interception. And it's 2010, and it doesn't give me the quarterback. Come back to me.
Maybe you got to look up 2010 Cardinals roster.
I'm looking up your game log. Oh, I need to click on. No, this is the game. I'll figure it out. Greg, you had something. I'll come back to me.
I was gonna say thanks, but one last question then. What favorite place to play? Favorite stadium to play in?
I got 2, Lambeau and Mile High.
Why? Oh, I love Mile High. Why?
It's just a good football environment. The field is perfect. I don't know who their groundskeepers are, but their groundskeepers keep the ground perfect. The fans are good. I just love playing in both of those places. Stadium is pretty.
Hey, let me bounce off that then. What's your favorite city to visit?
Favorite city to visit for football, business or pleasure?
Business and pleasure. Favorite place to visit during football season, and favorite place to visit after. I know you.
Well, I mean, it's probably Miami, definitely Miami, business wise and football wise. So Miami's a fun city because it's vibrant, right? It's vibrant and young, kind of like us, right? All ages go out. From 21 to 101, you can go have dinner, late dinners, and go to the beach, you could go in the water. So definitely Miami.
All right, I found it.
There it is.
This guy probably hates you. Derek Anderson. You sacked him so many times in this game, and you picked him off for a touchdown. So
Derek Anderson.
Yeah.
I remember Derek Anderson.
He was he was in Carolina for a while.
Oregon Browns too. Didn't he play for the Browns too?
He did play for the Browns too. Yeah. He played a couple different spots, but it was Derek Anderson. You guys won that game 41-10. And you moved to 2-2 on the year. So that took me like 4 hours to find, but it was well worth it because now we got the Derek Anderson name out there.
Derek Anderson was a Pro Bowler in 2007. Wow.
Yeah, he had one really great season. I remember that.
Oh, that was what you call him was the OC.
Was it North?
Chud.
In Cleveland.
Cleveland. Yeah, he was in Cleveland. Wow. Yeah.
Kellen Winslow, Chud. Yeah, I remember that.
That's what I love about the NFL. There's so many random players that have come and gone. So many random players.
We saw it this week. Fucking Mike White with the Jets.
400 yards.
Cooper Rush with the Cowboys. Like, I never even heard of these dudes, and they ball out. I love it.
I like this Mike White kid. He was slinging it.
He tweeted at Peyton Manning last night. He said, "You better watch your records." So it's something along those lines. I think it's hilarious. Now let's talk about that real quick. I mean, the Jets. I know that they drafted their Zach Wilson guy, but now they got a guy who's he had a completion streak happening from the Patriots game into the game that he played over the weekend against the Bengals. And Greg's giving me the face like, just shut up because it's not a big deal. They're not going to choose Mike White over Zach Wilson. No. But Zach Wilson had to have been like, God, this sucks. They're all having fun out there. They're beating the number 1 team in the AFC, and I'm sitting here on the sidelines.
I can't lie. When I was hurt and watched my team play well without me, I wasn't. It was good, but I didn't really like it.
You can tell the truth. I didn't
really like it.
Like, God damn, man.
I'm happy, but I'm not.
Yeah, I want this job though. You know what I'm saying?
So you're like, go team. Go
team. Hey, but no, man. I mean, no one's had film on Mike White. Nobody knows what he does. So, give it 2-3 more weeks. If he can still ball out in 3 more weeks, then I'll give it to him.
By the way, if you were to give me 3 names of who started for the Jets over the weekend, and you told me Mike White, I would be like, that's a fake name. That's like John Doe. Mike White. I mean, that's the most boring name in the world. Comes out and throws 400 plus yards for the Jets. They beat the Bengals. Good stuff. Good stuff.
It's all good until they start game planning.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us here on the podcast. You had 81.5 sacks in your career. That is a lot of sacks in your career. So do you have a favorite sack before we let you go? I know we already asked you for your favorite play, but favorite game, but there's got to be a sack like Peyton Manning or
I got him a number of times, but you know who it was? It was Rex Grossman. They actually didn't block me on a play. And so I had free range, straight shot, nonstop. They slid the protection the wrong way. I don't know what they did, but
backside?
The front side, right in the face.
Did he want to leave the game after you destroyed him?
It was just a straight, and I don't even know how the ball didn't come out because it was sandwiched in between us. But I had a straight shot. No one blocked me, never stopped. It was pretty ugly.
Would it have been a flag in today's football?
100%.
I used to love SP's sack celebration when you hit me with the bowling pin.
Bowling?
See, they like now that could be considered a 15-yard penalty. It's ridiculous what's going on.
You just can't bowl at someone. You got to bowl to the sideline.
That's weak.
Yeah, because they have the new taunting penalty that like anytime anyone looks at a player and says anything, it's a 15-yard penalty, no problem. We were talking about this last week, and as a guy on defense, I keep saying we're going to let you go, and then I have another question for you. But we were talking about this last week, and it was the new play for the Colts is to just throw it deep and hope for a pass interference penalty. Greg's saying that's a great play. They're saying we can't stand it when the offenses are being bailed out by pass interference penalties. What do you think? And do they need to do something to make sure that that's not a cop out now?
This is an offensive league, so it's just there's nothing that you can do about it. But what they need to do is it should be 15 yards instead of it should be like college. Instead, you're getting 50 yards on a bomb that someone just threw a Hail Mary. Just have it be 15 yards.
Greg, your fantasy numbers don't reflect pass interference yards. He's like sitting there vehemently shaking his head no.
Is anytime there's a deep ball, they're just going to grab you because it's, why give up 50 when I can just give up 15 and we're all right.
Yeah, it's better than a bailout, though. The bailout shit is the worst. Like, I give you that. Like, defense has it rough right now. Like, you can't hit anybody like you used to. Don't even, like, look at the quarterback. That's a 50-yard penalty. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit, like, they expect you to be able to run full speed and, you know what I'm saying, maneuver your body to keep everybody safe. Like, it's already enough on their plate. Like, now you're going to give them, you know what I'm saying, these bogus PIs. I think it just slows the game down and bails the offense out. You know what I'm saying? Like 15 is enough to keep the ball moving is all I'm saying.
Here's something that needs to get changed in the NFL and I've been thinking about it and it hasn't, is the guys holding the chains. They got these two guys holding the chains, running up and down the field. We ain't had no technology put to that yet.
Usually old dudes that can't move too. That's a great point.
I've been racking my brain on thinking of a technological way to be able to do this, but I haven't come up with it.
I mean, if they could track each player on the field with a chip in their shoulder pads, there's got to be a way that they could put a chip in a ball.
All right. What are those Star Wars
lightsabers?
Lightsaber. Little lightsaber on the field that shoots up, so it's a laser. Players can see it.
I thought about it, but daytime is hard to see the laser in the daytime. And then you need to have them along the whole strip of the field because what if the ball not on the yard line and it's right in the middle, right? Like, so you need to have it all throughout the field and you need to be able to be up in the daytime.
Yeah, you have to have like a little trench they build or something on the side with like two little tabs.
It sounded like a really simple solution, and it's not.
It ain't.
No.
It ain't.
That is really funny though.
Hey, I'm happy they got the little camera at the first down line now, though. I like it.
That's good.
Yeah.
But it also depends on what network is broadcasting, and it depends on what broadcast it is. If it's Sunday Night Football, you got some great angles. If it's the 10 a.m. game in Jacksonville, you don't have those angles. So
I wouldn't even go to the game myself. Shit.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I got away with a lot of catches because we didn't have great camera angles all the time back in the day. Because now they got the angle from if that ball scratches the ground incomplete. I got away with a lot of that.
That's amazing. All right. Well, thank you so much, Shaun Phillips, for joining us here on Two Pros and a Joe. Really appreciate that. Hope to have you on again.
You.
We need
my pleasure, guys. Anytime y'all can have
Thank
me.
you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
of
you.
course.
Thanks, guys.
See you at cocktail
later.
night.
Yeah.
I can't look forward to it.
All right.
All right. There he is. There he goes. Shaun Phillips with us here on Two Pros and a Joe. Thanks, guys, for setting that one up. That was good stuff. Getting him on the podcast talking defense.
The defensive perspective.
Yeah, that was good. And I love that he had some experience playing with Von Miller too, because I didn't even think about the fluidity of Von Miller, like how he can just go from going outside to spinning inside with no problem whatsoever.
Bro, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know what? I played Von Miller, I think my last year. I mean, he might have been there my last 2 years. I can't remember. He was a young pup when he came in, though. And he always used to line up on Jeremy Clary's side. And I would be like, ooh, boy, you're going to have your hands full today. You know what I'm saying? It was just lucky that he was never on my side because he liked to rush from the right side, of the line. And I didn't have to deal with him. But I saw it early on. I knew he was going to be a problem. And he's continued to be that way to this day.
Yeah. And now he's with the Los Angeles Rams chasing another Super Bowl title. They went all in. That is it for this episode of Two Pros and a Joe. Thanks again to Shaun Phillips, and hopefully we'll have him on again. But we will be back with another podcast here very shortly. And make sure you go to twoprosandajoe.com. You can also email us.
It's a website.
twoprosandajoe@gmail.com. I'll go over it in the podcast, but you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just search Two Pros and a Joe. You can find Greg on social media at Catch Camarillo, Marcus at Marcus McNeil 73, myself at Matt Scraby, and then also Marcus M. McNeil 73 for his Instagram profile. That's it.